In 2005, Microsoft changed the landscape of gaming by introducing the Xbox 360 and the glorious and addictive achievement system that came with it. This meant that every game had a total of 1000 gamer score for a player to achieve, be it through collectibles, difficulty related achievements, or just playing the game. This was an incentive for gamers to complete games and gain bragging rights over their friends, as there was physical proof of their prowess. This was when the culture of achievement hunting and my journey began. I didn't think much of it initially when playing my very first 360 games, Perfect Dark Zero and Peter Jackson's King Kong, the official game of the movie. However, I slowly got sucked into completing games to get all the achievements and the sweet endorphins from seeing all those panels light up to 100%. Some achievements are not like the others, however, and are just grindy collectibles, but these are all the achievements I've personally completed and are some of my favourites. You'll probably notice a theme as we go along, but let's get right into it. Here are my 7 achievements I am most proud of from the Xbox 360. Dead Rising is by far one of my favourite games from the 360 era. It pushed the boundaries what the console could do with how many zombies it could display on screen at once, and I'm a huge zombie fan, so I had hours of fun with this game when it released. The game itself, if you haven't played it, although it's a zombie game, it's very light-hearted with its content, being able to kill zombies with a variety of wacky and fun weapons and come across a colourful cast of psychopaths, basically humans who have not taken the zombie apocalypse very well and will attack you when they see you. As much fun as this game is, the achievement however is not. This is by far one of the longest achievements I've ever done. 7 Day Survivor, you guessed it, tasks you to stay alive for 7 days in the game's endless mode. However, 7 days in the game equates to about 14 or 16 real world hours. Now, that would be easy if you could just leave your console on all night, but there is a factor stopping you doing that. Assuming you're max level, you will die in about 20 minutes, even if not attacked by a zombie or a psychopath, because your health constantly depletes in this mode. So most of the time is spent gathering a bunch of food, standing somewhere safe, waiting for your health to drop to almost death, eating, then rinse and repeat. This game also has a variety of bugs that can cause the game to crash on the newer versions of the Xbox One. I never had that issue on the 360, but it's one of the things stopping me from going back to complete it on the Xbox One. I love difficult achievements and I love Dead Rising, even though they were lazy with the achievements and just set every achievement to 20 gamer score. Even this super time consuming one, but this one is just a bit boring and is a huge time sink, which is why it's number 7 on this list. Asura's Wrath is a game I recommend to everyone. The game is fast-paced, full of action and amazing set pieces, and has a super anime aesthetic with how they power up and overcome the odds. I actually found out while making this video that it was CyberConnect 2 that developed this game, the brilliant minds behind the Naruto games and the more recent Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles, so you know these guys actually know their anime stuff. So if you haven't played it and love anime and action scenes, please give it a go. It's almost like a movie with how it plays. There's a lot of quick time events and battle scenes, and the main character Asura even rivals Kratos for his anger. He is also voiced by one of my favourite voice actors of all time, Liam O'Brien, famous for his roles in World of Warcraft as Illidan Stormrage.
You are not prepared.
Sorry, I can never resist that. Other voice roles from Bleach, Naruto, etc. Trust me, you've probably heard his voice at some point or another. Actually, here's some snippets of his voice. Let's see if you can recognise it.
You will remember Precious. We will make him.
And more recently, I have pitched that down to play Red Skull, so I can lead Hydra.
Akihiko in the Persona series is a popular one for fans of Japanese games.
The achievement in question from Asura's Wrath is called Enlightenment. It's basically a platinum trophy for the game. It requires you to unlock all the other achievements, which is the actual hard part of the achievement. Who Needs Help and Deity are the achievements that make this hard. One is for completing the game with a mortal gauge equipped, which is an item that gives Asura's health the durability of a glass football, and the other one is for completing all episodes on hard with an S rank, which is as hard as it sounds. Any mistake pretty much voids the achievement. There are guides for this, so it only partially comes down to player skill, but it is still quite difficult. I wouldn't recommend going for the mortal gauge and all S ranks at the same time, unless you're some sort of sadist like me. There are many other fun and difficult achievements in this game. The main story is really cool, and the DLC, even though it felt like Capcom were cutting off part of the main game to sell it to you, is amazing as you get to fight Ryu in a Street Fighter style. But it is well worth a go if you're up for a fun action game to pass the time and increase your gamer score. If you've never played a Devil May Cry game, you're missing out. This high-octane hack-and-slash video game has been around for literal decades at this point, and is still going strong. The recent release of Devil May Cry 5 has continued the series after the lackluster reimagining DMC, which I personally hate, and has some of the best set pieces in combat in a Devil May Cry game to date. However, this would not be possible without Devil May Cry 4 in the origin game of Nero, which is where this achievement comes in. Tonight we dine in hell!
But tonight, we dine in
This achievement is as hard as the name makes it out to be. All the difficulties up to this point have been preparation, showing you what the game is capable of and what it's going to throw at you. Son of Sparda, Dante Must Die, Heaven and Hell, all these difficulties showcase super strong enemies that can devil trigger, essentially become super strong and resilient, do a ton of damage to you, and the Heaven and Hell difficulty allows enemies to one-shot you, but also allowing you to one-shot them. Guns are amazing in this difficulty. You can probably see where this is going. Take away the Heaven of one-shotting enemies and you're left with Hell and Hell mode, where all enemies can still devil trigger, can kill you with one hit, but you can no longer kill them in one hit. This mode requires precision, patience, and a lot of stress balls to get through. You could be wailing on a boss being perfect all the way through, about to take the final shot, and you mess up having to go through the entire thing again. The mode's saving grace, however, is at least you don't have to do the entire level again, unlike some games. The game is quite generous with its checkpoints, but if you have a particular enemy you struggle with, you better master the hell out of its moveset. This was one of the most satisfying achievements for me to complete, and I still think about how much fun I had doing it. There was frustration for sure, but the feeling of essentially perfecting every part of the game in order to complete it, there isn't a feeling like it. Okay, this one's a bit of a cheat as I haven't actually completed this achievement on the 360. Don't kill me. I have done it on the Xbox One version. I do plan on going back to the 360 version to 100% it, but I remember the load times annoying me more than the actual difficulty itself. I will be doing an achievement video on that in the future, so stay tuned. Anyway, onto the achievement itself. For those that don't know about this mode, Akumu basically means nightmare, so they got the name right with this difficulty. It is indeed a nightmare to complete. The achievement itself is called You Asked For It, and this is for completing Akumu difficulty. In Akumu difficulty, anything in the game that touches, cuts, shoots, or brushes your clothing will kill you. You would think this would be impossible as your character Sebastian moves like that sloth in Zootopia. That is to say, incredibly, frustratingly, excruciatingly slow. Have some urgency, Sebastian, for Christ's sake. And although he looks like a fairly fit gentleman, his stamina runs out faster than my patience doing this achievement. Gotta say, if I was in any of the situations he is, I would move a hell of a lot faster than this. Anyway, back to the achievement. If you're used to lower difficulties, throw all of that out the window. There are different enemy placements, and there's Rubik clones scattered around the place. It's incredibly hard to stealth kill anyone in this difficulty, as they have apparently been trained in adhering to Superman levels, because if you're anywhere in their general vicinity, they'll know you're there. So the plan with this achievement is just to conserve as much ammo as you can whenever you get the chance. So run or sneak away from as many enemies as you can, try and catch multiple enemies in the same match when you use it. Save whenever you have done something difficult. It seems difficult at the start, but wait till the enemies get guns. This is when the game gets really hard. But a lot of frustration and tears later, it's a doable achievement, and from my point of view, as long as you have a decent understanding of what the game mechanics are, and how stupidly slow Sebastian moves, save your ammo, upgrade your weapons and disarm traps, even though this can be very, very dangerous, you will eventually get this achievement, and you can't beat that feeling of 100% in a very difficult game. Do I really need to explain what Left 4 Dead is? Okay, for the one person living under a rock who doesn't know what Left 4 Dead is, it's another game series by Valve, the famous company that is incapable of counting to 3 for some reason, Half-Life 3, as a first-person co-op zombie survival game, and like I said, you should be seeing a theme by now with these. I've sort of cheated a bit with this achievement too, but I can't in good conscience mention one but not the other. This is a 2-in-1 achievement. Both are for completing the campaigns on Expert for Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 respectively. So basically the same achievement, but Left 4 Dead series is one of the games I've played the most in my life. It is such a fun game, and if you haven't played it, there's still a decently sized community around it on Steam, and trust me, it needs to be experienced to see how fun it can be. The game played normally with friends is a ton of fun, however the expert difficulty is no joke. During a normal playthrough, normal zombies can be swatted away like flies, but on Expert they take 20 HP, so that's 5 hits and you're down. When I did this achievement I was more afraid of the normal infected than the special infected, since they can swarm you and kill you very quickly. At least you can tell where the special infected spawn thanks to the brilliant musical cues that you hear during the campaign. Also, the fact that some achievements can heighten the tension of horror games is just icing on the cake for achievement hunters. Both of these achievements are extremely difficult to pull off. There are probably guides now on how to cheese certain sections, but I remember trying to get them being a very heart-pounding affair when I did them. Actually, one of my almost successful runs on the farm level was ended abruptly by my friend shotgunning me in the back by accident. Accident air quotes, on the way to the escape vehicle, and apparently that stops you from getting the achievement. Who knew? If you have a decent group of friends, these may be even more of a blast to achieve, but I did the majority of them with the AI, as friendly fire damage is horrendous in this mode. Even though they are difficult, they are extremely satisfying to complete, so grab your friends, grab your pills and first aid packs, and get to unlocking it. Dead Space became a household name for a while when it released, but fell flat when they released Dead Space 3 and strayed away from the horror elements to make it more action heavy, an error a lot of companies seem to make with horror games. The series focuses on Isaac Clarke, a very unremarkable and ordinary engineer who is thrown into a fight for his life against the game's enemies, the Necromorphs. Amalgamations of body parts, organs and human faces, who can shred Isaac faster than chefs can cut lettuce, and that's just on normal difficulty. Dead Space 2 continues the story of Isaac struggling against these enemies and battling his own psyche in the process, fighting off visions brought on by the Marker, the alien artifact that creates the Necromorphs. The game itself is terrifying enough as it is, but cranking the difficulty up to hardcore brings a whole new meaning to horror. Hardcore mode tasks the player with traversing the psychiatric hospital Isaac wakes up in, and basically learning the game back to front, as it is something you have to do to beat this mode. There is no trial and error here, no checkpoints, set to a high level of difficulty and you get 3 saves. That's what hardcore mode is. You save in chapter 3 and die in chapter 9, you're going right back to chapter 3. The way I found to do this achievement when I unlocked it was just take it slow. It can be frustrating if you lose a run to some random enemy and you have to go all the way back, but the frustration will just lead to more errors. I had this happen to me. One of the areas I had down to a science went out the window when I lost my previous run, and this was an easy area near the start of the game. There's also things in the game that can insta-kill you, so this makes it even more terrifying when you come across those areas. But even if you die there, it's just knowledge for the next run. Or you could be safe and save it, but don't mess up your run by using the saves too often. That is my best advice if you go for this achievement. There are areas where going fast is the better option, but if you've played the game a few times you'll know where these areas are. This was another one of those achievements that was frustrating as hell when you lose your progress, but when you finally reach that ship at the end and the achievement bleep bloop sounds, there's nothing like it. Good luck, and don't fail in the poke in the eye section. If you're a fan of the Metal Gear Solid games and the lore, throw all that in the bin. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance is a super fast-paced, over-the-top hack-and-slash game with an emphasis on slash. You play Raiden, yep, Raiden from MGS2, except this time he had a Cyberpunk 2022 makeover including Cyberpunk. This allows Raiden to slice through foes like butter and take their tasty innards to heal himself. This game is as far from stealth as possible, it even makes fun of it as well, which I like, as anyone who knows my streams, we do Soul Stealth, which is stealth's very distant long lost cousin. The boss fights in this game are insane, that's where this achievement comes in. I want to focus on one boss, but there is an achievement like this for all the bosses, which I have also unlocked, might I add. The aptly named Politics of Silence and Foes tasks you with taking out the game's final boss in hard difficulty without taking a hit. Now if you've seen the action going on screen, you can probably see it's as fast as your little cousin on Christmas with all those E numbers. I'm sort of cheating a bit with this achievement as I'm including all the no damage achievements on hard mode, as the bosses in this game are a blast to fight against. The final boss only beats out Jetstream Sam by a fraction, and that's only because I found the final boss harder, and that is only due to the fact that my brain forgot how to cut items with all the chaos happening. It's incredibly hard to avoid damage, and as much as I hate to admit it, even being the gaming god I am, this did take me a few tries to get right. Not as hard as some achievements on this list, but these are some of the ones I'm most proud of and probably have the most fun doing on this list. There is a parry mechanic in the game, and it feels satisfying as hell parrying all the attacks that the boss throws at you, and cutting anything in half that they physically throw at you. I have yet to complete this on Revenge difficulty, which pains me to admit, however maybe that could be an achievement video in the future. But if you're going to go for these achievements for hard mode, I would 100% recommend the music, the bosses, the fast-paced action. It all adds up to one brilliant game which deserves to be played. Well, that's it for the list, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments what achievements you're most proud of, and if there are any achievements you think I should go for in the future. I am starting to stream achievement challenges over on my Twitch channel, links in the description. So if you want to pop by there, say hi and chill out for a bit, feel free. And if you enjoyed the video, remember to like and subscribe for more achievement content in the future. Thanks for watching everyone, and have a great day.